Hello, I'm Tan the TC channel, and I thought of something. I hope this doesn't come across conspiracy theorist sounding. I never want it to, and it's just an interesting thought I had. You know how people are kind of hating on Nintendo right now for some of the price raises of their like controllers, console games, so on. There was a recent video, can't remember the name of the channel, but they made one on both Microsoft and Nintendo, and it was like titled something like they lied about the $80 prices or whatever. I can't remember. But it brought to mind again that for a while, Nintendo. Now, there's three big companies right now, especially other than like EA and Activision. Activision belongs to one of the companies we will talk about in a sec. But so we can't really like that's a combination as well as like Konami, but they've been doing decent with the remake as well as I think their other games like Silent Hill F and Metal Gear remake might actually turn out to be good, surprisingly. So as well as EA, while they still had some stupid things like the Anthem situation, they did at least have like there's one I think Command and Conquer game they let some people bring back to life, have some servers, and then there was the return of Battlefront 2 by EA, or whatever. But there are two companies that were not only doing similar things to Ubisoft, but also kind of teamed up with that teamed up with Nintendo. And I already gave away what one of them is. You already know who. And that is freaking Ubisoft. And I know this isn't the right character for that, but whatever. And of course he knocks that over. This table is not very, like, it's on a weird slant, honestly. Fail. I wonder if there's something heavier. Oh, I can probably put this behind it, actually. I just realized. There we go. That's pretty heavy. Have him lean against it. But yeah, they were buddy kind of with Ubisoft for a little bit. I remember Miyamoto saying they asked on the Smosh episode what his favorite games outside of, or favorite character outside of Nintendo properties was, and he said Assassin's Creed. And then, of course, they made exclusives for the Wii U, as well as other games of theirs ended up on there, like Splinter Cell Blacklist, Watch Dogs, so on. And then they worked together on the Mario plus Rabbids games. Now, after a while, as well as Immortal Phoenix Rising was clearly inspired by Zelda, and Starlink had Star Fox character crossovers. They were clearly working close together on a lot of things. Another company, which I'm hoping I have something also to hold this up, let's use this, is Microsoft. I know these are different versions of Master Chief, and that's Altair instead of Ezio, but whatever. I do have a Halo 2 figure, but right now he's missing one of his guns and apparently his thumb. So I decided not to put him on here. But I realized that Microsoft, when they had Smash Brothers, they brought together Banjo-Kazooie and such. Hell, there were even some Ubisoft characters in that too. But they were a little bit more friendly with them, where Sony, maybe not so much. They didn't really care to put some of their properties into their games. But, yeah, I noticed that they were together for certain crossover stuff. And then when the Switch 2 came out and all the price stuff and people were complaining, guess who the next company was that jumped on board right after? Frickin' Microsoft. And of course, with the digital key cards and stuff people have been complaining about with the Switch 2, something similar to what Ubisoft was doing. And hell, even some digital games before that on multiple consoles, like Stalker 2, people were finding out there were digital game download codes on the discs, the physical disc versions. And it's something similar to Ubisoft closing frickin' Crew and X Defiant and such. There were just a lot of dumb decisions being made, and I saw correspondence between these three companies that maybe they shared some friendly, like, not really exchange in the sense of like you're probably thinking I would get at, but more like they take after one another and they were inspired by one another in some way. Because it definitely seems like that to me. And it's just a weird coincidence with all the stuff going on. And then, of course, the stop killing games thing. It's just a weird coincidence. So right now, this is probably your trilogy companies: Nintendo, Ubisoft, Microsoft, and that's not even counting like the layoffs and stuff that these two companies at least have been doing. Nintendo, I don't think would do that. They even had something where they said they wouldn't, but yeah, they've been doing really stupid things, and they somehow jumped the shark even more than EA, and EA is still doing dumb things. Look at the Anthem thing, as well as some of their dumbass video games lately. Though they did have the Dead Space remake, I thought that was good, but still a lot of dumbassery, and they're the ones that started the whole loot box thing with Battlefront 2. Though ironically, that game is now doing a little better, as well as people are mad there's no Titanfall 3 and such. So, and the reliance on live service games, which honestly some of these game companies also do. So you could probably put EA in the slot next to these guys, honestly. But like these are the top three EAs, like top four, maybe three companies that are doing some really stupid business decisions right now and making dumb decisions in general. Yeah, it just seems like too much a coincidence in my eyes. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm probably speculating too hard here, but it was just a lot of weird coincidences that made me think of this, and I was like, sus. But you have a awesome day. I hope you found something interesting from this. You can even tell me that I'm wrong. Doesn't matter as long as you don't do it in a rude, inappropriate way. And I will see you next time. I also just want to let you know that, like, when I have the thing, because I don't know how people take what I say in my description and even previous videos. I'm not saying that you can't like have differing opinions from me, or that you can't have like you can't share differing opinions, like whether they disagree or not with me. I'm just saying don't use them to be rude as well as to harass, bully, whatever. And if you know what like harassment means, name calling, directly calling that person like an asshole or something, I don't know, then that's what I mean. Even if you're using one of your opinions to also do the same, there's just no point. There's like 100 ways you could say something, and you choose the 101th freaking way. That was definitely wrong. And I've had people who tried to freaking advocate for why bullying. I went over the Save a Fox thing. That was the biggest evidence that bullying just should not freaking exist. And then, of course, the Accursed Farms and Pirate Software thing, where somebody, I can't remember if it was Ackman or who, was talking about how they were getting like death threats and stuff. Like, even proof of that stuff. Like, that's just how freaking stupid that kind of stuff is, whether it's towards somebody you think deserves it or not. Just should not exist, and it seems like that kind of system is broken, honestly, whether you can call it that or not, because it seems like they'll do that no matter what. Because I'm just thinking like, oh, Accursed, the freaking pirates. At first, Pirate Software, people were taking Pirate Software's side originally, And I heard they were sent because of that. They took his side. They were doing death threats and stuff towards Cursed Farms or whatever. And then when they found out they were wrong on that side, and they took Cursed Farms' side, Ross, they decided to turn around and do the same thing to the opposite person. So it just shows how broken up, whether it's the same people or not, that kind of whole setup of like sending that crap is. It's just so stupid and just shouldn't exist in general. I thought I'd say that very briefly, and I made a video talking about it very briefly as well. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed. I should say it like frickin' Moist Critical. That's about it. See ya. But you have an awesome day, and I will see you next time. I just thought this was an interesting thing to bring up. Bye.